Forest Woods Media presents a series of 20th century poets. Listen to this minute commentary on Robert Hayden, first African American to hold the post of U.S. Poet Laureate, 1976 to 1978. I'm Grace Cavalieri. Robert Hayden is an example in America where a poet's writing becomes part of a struggle to define what the role of a poet is in society. As a black writer, his work was criticized by members of the black nationalist movement in the 60s. He addresses this in an introduction to the 1967 anthology Kaleidoscope, which he edited. Robert Hayden moved literature toward an even broader and deeper African American voice than had previously existed. His consciousness of the black struggle from slavery to the present is one subject he wrote about, taking the past, making narratives and stories of legend that were more than a retelling of history. He used his dramatic voice in the poem Middle Passage, which tells the story of the slave ship Armistead. What is important in his early work is the way Hayden honors the English tradition and poetry up to his own time and takes it one step further into modernism, to the time when William Carlos Williams and Charles Olson and other innovators were changing American poetry on the page forevermore. He was not imitating the traditionalists, nor the modernists. He was incorporating and modifying styles. But the voice was always Hayden's. The topics were Hayden's. The fervor was unique to his experience as a black man in America, sometimes using folklore, sermons, jazz syncopation, and song chants in the line. He was originally influenced by writers of the Harlem Renaissance such as Countee Cullen and Langston Hughes, but he also studied with W.H. Auden and was affected by T.S. Eliot's use of myth. Hayden proved that mythology can be more than philosophical speculation. It can be centered in real topics which real people care about, in his case, black people. It is important to say that Robert Hayden was a member of the Baha'i faith. He is a peaceful essence, and for this he has made an indelible mark on American letters. His writing shows his belief in humanity and reverence for all human life, all races, all creeds. He spoke of the oneness of mankind and the importance of arts in that struggle. His poetry examines what makes community. A quiet, modest man, Hayden once said, reticence has its aesthetic values too. Robert Hayden may have been among the first artists to advocate multiculturalism. The poem Those Winter Sundays, from his book, A Ballad of Remembrance, is used in most college classrooms. And Those Winter Sundays is admired by most poets as an example of a perfectly realized poem.
Here is a poem that comes directly out of my boyhood in Detroit. It's called Those Winter Sundays. Sundays, too, my father got up early and put his clothes on in the blue-black cold. Then, with cracked hands that ached from labor in the weekday weather, made bank fires blaze. No one ever thanked him. I'd wake and hear the coals splintering breaking. When the rooms were warm, he'd call, and slowly I would rise and dress, fearing the chronic angers of that house, speaking indifferently to him who had driven out the cold, and polish my good shoes as well. What did I know? What did I know of love's austere and lonely offices?
I'm Grace Cavalieri. Funding is provided by the Cy Nippet Fund. Our producer is Jack Tarashuk. Our engineer is Mike Turpin.